The first time I saw her, the city was burning. Smoke choked the sky into a permanent gray, and the streets below were littered with broken machines, shattered glass, and the bodies of those who had tried to escape the chaos. I was running, of course, my lungs on fire, my legs trembling, but something about her stopped me. She stood on the balcony of a half-collapsed skyscraper, golden light glinting off her armor, as though she were untouched by the destruction around her. And then she spoke, her voice cutting through the chaos like a knife. "Do you remember me, human?" I froze. My mind screamed that it was impossible. I had never met her before, at least, not in this lifetime. Yet something in her gaze, sharp and unnervingly intimate, sent shivers down my spine. I don't think so, I managed, though my voice sounded hollow even to me. But that was only the beginning. The city was a war zone, but she moved through it like a ghost. Civilians screamed as robotic enforcers rained fire from the skies, yet she seemed to glide above it all, her armor shimmering, almost alive. I ducked behind a crumbling wall, trying to catch my breath, trying to understand why she had singled me out. And then I saw it, her eyes, not human, not fully alien, but hauntingly familiar, scanning the ruins until they locked onto me. "I've waited for you," she said again. "Longer than you could possibly imagine." What I saw next changed everything. I had been an engineer, a human technician trapped in the lower city levels, repairing broken drones and salvaging whatever I could for scraps. I had lived quietly, unnoticed, a ghost among the ruins of what used to be a thriving metropolis. But somehow, she had found me. Somehow, she knew my name, my work, and something deeper, my memories, though I didn't yet understand how. She descended to the street, landing with a grace that defied physics. The air shimmered where her armor touched the ground, and every step she took left faint, glowing footprints that faded into nothing. She extended a hand toward me. "I need your help. Not because you are strong, but because you are human. Because only a human can fix what is broken." I wanted to run. But curiosity rooted me to the spot. My mind reeled with questions. Who was she? Why did she recognize me? And how had she survived when everything else had fallen? But that was only the beginning. We moved through the city in silence at first, navigating debris-strewn streets while robotic sentries scanned for signs of life. I noticed her eyes kept flicking to me, as though searching for something buried deep in my memory. And then, when we were cornered by a patrol of autonomous hunters, she fought. Not with brute force, not with the predictable violence of human weapons, but with precision, almost surgical, bending the battlefield around her. Machines fell apart mid-strike. Time seemed to slow. And all the while, her gaze never left mine. How are you doing that?" I asked, my voice shaking. "It's not me," she said softly, almost wistfully. "It's the knowledge I carry. Knowledge we once shared." My stomach nodded. "We shared?" She gave me a look that pierced through the layers of my skepticism. "Yes. A long time ago. Before you were human. Before the city fell. Before everything you think you know about yourself began." The revelation should have shattered me, but oddly, it felt like relief. Something in my chest uncoiled, a memory, a whisper, a hint of a life I could not yet name. But that was only the beginning. We arrived at an underground facility, half buried beneath the ruins. It was an alien structure, glowing faintly with bioluminescent veins, breathing almost like a living organism. She led me inside, explaining in cryptic fragments that the facility contained something crucial, something only I could repair. And that something was more than a machine. It was a fragment of her civilization, a repository of knowledge, memories, and lives lost to war. "You were engineered to fix this," she said. "To reconnect the past and the present. To save what remains." My hands trembled as I approached the console, alien in design yet eerily familiar. Patterns flickered in my mind, algorithms that should have been impossible for a human to comprehend, yet flowed through me naturally. Every connection I made felt like a key unlocking not just the machine, but my own hidden memories. And then I saw it, a vision, not quite a memory, not quite a dream. A city floating among the stars, radiant and alive. I was there, or rather, someone who had been me, walking beside her. I remembered a promise, to return, to find each other, when the time came. What is this? I whispered. Her voice was soft, almost mournful. A bond we made. Eons ago. You were human then, but not truly. You were part of what we were trying to save. And now, you've returned. The walls of the facility pulsed, reacting to the memory I had unearthed. Machines hummed with life, alien constructs realigning themselves. The air was thick with energy, and the knowledge of an entire civilization poured into my consciousness. I was dizzy, overwhelmed, but driven. But that was only the beginning. Then came the warning, the facility shuddered violently, and a voice, mechanical, cold, and merciless, echoed through the chambers. Unauthorized interface detected. Subject classified as anomaly. Initiating purge. She grabbed my arm. They know you've awakened. They will come for you. Outside, the skies split with fire. Autonomous drones swarmed, tearing through the ruins with merciless precision. But she didn't run. She stood her ground, her armor glowing, her eyes blazing with determination. You finish this, human. Complete what we started. Reclaim what we lost. I turned back to the console, my fingers moving faster than thought, repairing circuits, aligning alien codes, bridging the chasm between our worlds. Every step I completed resonated through the facility. Every connection sparked with life. Every second was a heartbeat toward salvation, or annihilation. The drones breached the chamber, metallic claws scraping the floor, energy weapons firing. She fought them with a grace that was terrifying in its beauty. And I realized, she was holding them off not just for herself, but for me, for the moment we had been destined to reach. And then, the memory hit fully. I remembered the fall, the betrayal of our civilization, the promise to return to this very place, to awaken the last hope of our people. The bond we had made was eternal, transcending species, lifetimes, and the collapse of worlds. With a final connection, the facility roared to life. The drones froze mid-attack, their systems rewritten by the power of the network. The air vibrated with alien energy. She turned to me, and for the first time, I saw her not as a warrior, not as a stranger, but as someone who had waited for me across millennia. You did it, she whispered. You remembered. You saved us. Tears streamed down my face, not from fear, not from relief, but from the overwhelming sense of recognition, of belonging, of finally returning to where I had always been meant to be. Outside, the ruins of the city seemed to breathe with a new life. Structures shifted, repairing themselves with alien energy, and the sky cleared just enough to reveal stars we had not seen for generations. She took my hand, and I felt the weight of every lost moment, every forgotten memory, every lifetime condensed into a single heartbeat. Do you remember me now? She asked, a hint of a smile touching her lips. I nodded, words failing me. And in that moment, the past and present merged, human and alien intertwined, memory and reality one. But that was only the beginning. We emerged from the facility into the transformed city, the ruins now a scaffold for something new, something alive. She looked at me with eyes that held centuries of pain and hope. We have work to do, she said. The universe is not yet healed. But with you, I believe it can be. I realized then that recognition was not just a memory. It was trust, it was destiny, it was the promise of rebirth. And I understood that no matter what came next, we would face it together. The city below us glimmered with alien light, human life cautiously re-emerging, machines humming with energy, and I felt a strange peace. A peace born not from the end of chaos, but from the awakening of something greater, something we had both fought lifetimes to reclaim. Her hand tightened around mine, and she whispered again, almost to herself, "Do you remember me, human?" "Yes," I said, my voice steady, resonant with certainty. "I remember everything. And for the first time in countless ages, the universe felt whole.